How do you make gold crafting? Today we'll be going over how to make gold with crafting professions and how best we can approach this moving forward. Let us begin. What crafting professions are there? There are multiple crafting professions around. We have tailoring, blacksmithing, and leatherworking. These are the core of what I like to call the BOE professions. Simply put, these are mainly used for their ability to create items other players can use. The other professions fall into a category I call the utility professions. These are alchemy, inscription, cooking, and enchanting. These are mainly used for producing items and consumables that aid the player within the game's activities. Lastly, we have the mixed professions. These take on multiple roles where they can provide utilities and BOEs. These would be dual crafting and engineering. Both important professions, but with some aspects that are overlooked. Now, with all these professions arranged, let's dig a little deeper. For BOE professions, you'll be wanting to produce current content gear if you are just getting into the game, with blacksmithing, leatherworking, and tailoring. This is because the BOEs from these professions are most sought after. Everyone needs gear, and a lot of people would rather buy gear once they hit max level in order to gear up fast. This also goes with alternative characters, as a lot of players want to gear them really quickly, and the majority of the time it is the fastest method in order to do so. However, this can get oversaturated, which can lead to some price drops, but you are able to pull a profit most of the time. This is something to bear in mind as a whole, and we will discuss a simple setup which you can use to avoid losing gold later on. As for utility professions, we will be wanting to look at items that sell fast as a beginner. These can range from current content potions, flasks, feasts, and enchantments. Utility items tend to sell fastest upon raid nights. This is because raiders typically will buy their items ahead of time or just before a raid, making them in high demand. This follows a simple trend of around 5 PM to 8 PM of massive bulk sales. However, this is known to a lot of crafting gold makers and can get quite competitive. If you wish to sell these items on the auction house in a window of about 3-ish hours, then aggressive cancel scanning and reposting is required to stay ahead of your competition. Though this is one method of selling utility items, you are able to sell them casually throughout a given week, and as such, gain steady gold by doing so. And sourcing materials for these crafts, you'll be wanting to purchase materials, if profitable, 2 to 3 days before a weekly reset, as this is when the prices will usually drop, and that means that is the best time to maximize your profits. Mixed professions combine both factors we have discussed already, but I would suggest if you are just getting started to avoid these professions until you have established yourself in one of the other areas we have already covered. Now for a simple crafting setup that you can use. You'll want to go to your operations tab in Trade Skill Master, (TSM), make your way over to the crafting operations and select the plus icon to create a new operation. Inside here, you'll want to set the minimum and maximum you would like to craft. So for example, we can set 20 as our minimum and 100 as our maximum. This will then craft a 100 of that item and will only restock your supply if it is below 20 of that item. Next is the minimum profit you would like to receive. TSM already takes into account the crafting value, so all you will need to do is to set the profit you wish to gain. A good rule of thumb is 20% crafting as your min profit. Once this is complete, just attach this to a group of items you wish to craft from, and presto, you have your own crafting operation. But this does not stop here. You will need an auctioning operation to post the items on the auction house. Go to auctioning operations, press the plus symbol, and now it is time to set up a simple posting operation. You will need to set your post cap for items you are selling. For a simple setup, just set it to 50,000. Following on to that, you need to set your minimum, normal and maximum prices. For minimum, set 120% crafting. For normal, 200% crafting, and lastly 1000% crafting for your maximum. This will ensure that you'll only be posting the item for 120% crafting as your minimum, meaning you will only post if you get 20% profit. After that, just link the same group you did for crafting operations and you are done. However, if you don't want to make your own crafting operations and groups, you are able to use mine, which are already set up, which is located on my Patreon, which also supports the channel. So in conclusion, crafting can get very complex with additional values and operations, but the essence is crafting and selling items for more than what you pay for. Other than that, guys, I hope you found this video helpful, and all round, have a wonderful rest of the day, and I shall see you in the next video, which will be soon.